Ensued, and the officer had to use his taser. Both the officer and the suspect were rushed to the hospital. We're told both will be okay, but the suspect now facing a couple of very serious charges.
And take a look at our traffic camera on I-15. This is at the Nevada-California border. What a mess. Troopers are warning all drivers, expect long delays today. A lot of people are heading back home following the New Year's holiday, both directions as well. And another busy place tonight, the airport. Good evening, I'm Christiane Klein, in for Denise.
And I'm Paul Johnson, in for Dave. Let's face it, if you had to do any traveling today, it was going to be tough. The roads, even the skies, busy with people heading out and others coming back home.
Shakayla Alvarenga's live at McCarran with the latest. Just how long are the lines there, Shakayla?
Christiane and Paul, you know, surprisingly, the travelers that we talked to today, they said it honestly, it hasn't been too bad here. Now, there are a few flights, of course, that we're keeping a close eye on for those delays. Those are including flights to New Jersey, Minneapolis, and San Francisco, where weather concerns are causing delay times up to 2 hours there. Now, there are also gate holds and taxi delays lasting about 15 minutes, but for the most part, as I said, travelers say the flight, it was pretty smooth and it wasn't as busy as they expected.
Not too crazy, a lot of people, but doesn't seem too crazy at this time, but yeah, not too bad.
Now, another wave of travelers are making their way to Las Vegas for the CES trade show, where more than 150,000 people are expected to attend the 50th anniversary show. Now, tonight, we just looked it up. There were 107 scheduled flights coming into Las Vegas. Airport officials recommending people that are traveling here to arrive 2 hours before their flight time. Reporting live at McCarran, Shakayla Alvarenga, 8 News Now. Guys, back to you.
Oh, we had those winds today. Just how chilly is it going to get tonight?
And what about our next chance for rain? Katie's in for Ted tonight. Katie?
Yeah, guys, we've been watching these conditions here over the last couple of hours and watching winds that continue to remain a bit of a constant here for us. And it does look like those conditions are going to remain on the gusty side at least through about 10 o'clock at night and then turn breezy in through overnight. So we're watching first an increase in our cloud cover. That's going to help start to calm those winds down, I think, but still watching some really rocky cameras here as we take a live look out towards the Las Vegas Strip. We've been dry, though, and that's one thing that has been fairly consistent. The exception being a few higher terrain spots out around Lincoln and Mojave County. Just light sprinkles, hardly anything even popping up on the radar. At this point, it looks like our next best rain chance doesn't come until maybe this next upcoming Sunday. So we'll give it a couple of days. For now, we've dropped down 1 degree. Those gusts have also bumped down a little bit out at McCarran. They were at 21 during our 4 o'clock hour. They're now down to 18 miles an hour with the sustained winds coming out of the south-southwest at 9 miles an hour. So we've had that southwesterly jet that has really influenced us in terms of winds. It's impacting a lot of areas, though, for that wind advisory across most of Clark County, seeing this for portions of Southern California as well as northwest Arizona. We'll continue to track the latest on the winds and our temperatures this week. Christiane, coming up in my extended forecast.
Thanks, Katie. Well, the new year also means new laws took effect here in Nevada, and one of the most talked about is the legalization of recreational marijuana. The State Department of Taxation still has to come up with regulations, so you won't be able to run out to a store and buy some just yet. But once the rules are in place, only medical marijuana facilities will be allowed to apply for a license during the first 18 months. And this includes dispensaries, production, and cultivation establishments. However, right now, possessing up to an ounce of marijuana is not illegal for adults 21 and over. This also allows adults to have up to 6 plants for personal use, but only if they're about 25 miles away from a dispensary. And recreational marijuana will be heavily taxed. It is just one of a few new taxes kicking in. The gas tax to pay for road construction is in effect. It'll go up by 3.6 cents per gallon per year over the next decade. On January 15th, room taxes go up by 0.5% to pay for the convention center expansion. And later this year, an additional room tax increase of 0.88% will kick in to pay for an NFL stadium. About a month after that, sales tax will increase by 0.1%, to pay for more cops. And New Year's Eve here in Las Vegas turned out to be quite a safe one, actually, for most folks. An estimated 320,000 visitors came here to celebrate with us as well. There was a large law enforcement presence up and down the Strip, and they only made 18 arrests, mostly for minor stuff. The cleanup afterwards was a big chore, though. An estimated 14 tons of trash was left on the Strip, but the county got it all cleaned up in a timely fashion.
Faraday Future is expected to debut its first production car tomorrow, just ahead of the Consumer Electronics Show. The electric car startup unveiled its concept race car last year here in Las Vegas. The company is building its manufacturing facility at the Apex Industrial Park, but work has temporarily halted there. This year's event is tomorrow night, 6 p.m. at the Pavilion's World Market Center. Patrick Walker will have a preview of what to expect coming up on our news at 6 o'clock. The biggest tech trade show of the year in Las Vegas this week, the annual Consumer Electronics Show, technically starts Thursday and it runs through Sunday, but there are preview events leading up to it this week, including electric car manufacturer Faraday Future unveiling that new vehicle prototype tomorrow we told you about. Self-driving cars are also expected to be all over the show, and new virtual reality technology could also be a show stealer at CES. In California Saturday, it was the last day that Californians could pick up an Armalite rifle or an AR-15 with a bullet button legally within the state. Doug Johnson has more on the new gun law.
You know, they're making all the new changes and it's not good.
Curtis Cook is one of dozens picking up an AR-15 at the Rockland Armory before midnight.
And it was the last day, you know. I bought it on the 21st. Today's the day to pick it up.
We've had people out the door now for weeks buying guns.
Ahead of the statewide bullet button ban on the popular rifle, store CEO Walter Ford says sales have been breaking records.
As of October, we had a certain sales number we reached. We reached 50% of that again in 3 months.
Now Ford questions if he'll be able to sell any form of the AR-15 rifle next year. 10 years ago, the state required AR-15 magazines to be released only with a tool, instead of pushing a button with your finger. That's when manufacturers invented the bullet button.
You hit the button and it pops out.
But on January 1st, the new law reclassifies bullet button firearms to be considered assault weapons, thus making them illegal. The law also states magazines can't be reloaded unless the rifle is disassembled, a configuration Ford says manufacturers have figured out.
This is what came out. So right now, there's nothing that will compress or depress when the gun is in a firing configuration. You pull this pin, you break the gun open, now the button can get pushed.
He's not sure if he can sell this version of the AR-15 because the California Department of Justice has not made a decision on this issue.
Can't sell it. They haven't told us what configuration it has to be in when we sell it.
That could mean he'll be stuck with the inventory. Meanwhile, Cook believes the new law will do little to prevent mass shootings, but many proponents of the new law claim this is a step in the right direction.
But you can go across the, lines and get one. And you can buy all the parts, so what's the difference?
Well, the search continues in Turkey for the man who opened fire inside a crowded nightclub just an hour into the new year, killing more than 36 people. ISIS has claimed responsibility. Several people have been detained, but the gunman, who was captured on surveillance video, escaped. Investigators are close to identifying him, however. The killer was seen on surveillance video exchanging gunfire with police outside the club about an hour after midnight. He then shot his way into the club, killing a police officer and a civilian. When it was over, 39 people were dead.
I got shot in the leg, man. These crazy people came in shooting everything.
All I can say is it's a massive tragedy.
Police believe the gunman may have changed clothes before disappearing into the night.
President Obama will speak to the nation for the last time next week. He announced today that his farewell address will be on January 10th. President Obama will not deliver his address from the White House like George W. Bush did in 2009. Instead, he will give it from his home city of Chicago. It's also where his presidential library will be located. The farewell address has been given by every president for the last 220 years.
Mariah Carey wrapped up in another controversy tonight. Wait till you see the video of her talking to the crowd. It will blow your mind.
But first, 'tis a season for holiday debt, unfortunately. Don't worry about those money blues. Michelle is here to help you destroy that debt with tips to save you money. Next on 8 News Now, the Valley's news leader.
On Jeopardy, our champ has a riddle for you.
How long does it take a centipede with a wooden leg to kick all the seeds out of a dill pickle? And the answer
will leave Alex speechless on Jeopardy.
Tonight at 7, only on 8 News Now.
Closed captioning is sponsored by Ed Bernstein and Associates. Enough said. Call Ed.
Hey, it's Chop with Tobin Fiat Alfa Romeo, and we've been named #1 in the nation. And in our quest to do it again, we are chopping the prices on brand new Fiats. We're selling the 500X for a flat $8,000 off, and the 500 for a flat $5,000 off, only at Tobin Fiat Alfa Romeo.
Thanks. Keep it pouring.
That's what Ted said.
Excuse me, ma'am. You might get a little wet.
That's what Ted said.
It's gonna be a scorcher.
That's what Ted said.
8 News Now's Ted Plorendo with the Valley's most accurate forecast. That's not some random claim. It's certified by Weather Rate, an independent monitoring service.
Let's keep it pouring. Up from the south, and you might get a little wet. Heat warnings have just been issued. It's going to be a scorcher.
Be sure to watch 8 News Now weeknights to see what Ted says next. Watch sports on 8 News Now with Chris Matthews, sponsored by South Point Hotel and Casino.
Disney on Ice, Worlds of Enchantment.
And now, your running rebels.
Brooks shoots at the post and in. USA 7's rugby tournament.
UNLV.
We get you there.
Our family loves being active. No matter what we're doing, we don't let anything slow us down. Yeah, we may have a temporary setback now and then. But with Nevada Health Link, we're all connected to great health coverage. So we can stay on the go and worry-free.
Now's the time to find a qualified health plan that fits your needs and your budget.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail.
Hey, it's Chop with Tobin Fiat Alfa Romeo, and we've been named #1 in the nation. And in our quest to do it again, we are chopping the prices on brand new Fiats. We're selling the 500X for a flat $8,000 off, and the 500 for a flat $5,000 off, only at Tobin Fiat Alfa Romeo.
Politics Now, Sunday at 5:30, only on 8 News Now.
All right, there's getting in shape, and then there's paying off your credit cards and getting out of debt. That's always one of the top New Year's resolutions.
And thanks to consumer advocate Michelle Mortensen's Debt Destroyer program, you have someone on your side to help you all year long when it comes to cutting credit and saving money.
And tonight, in her first 2017 Debt Destroyer report, she has tips on how to pay down debt fast.
For many, debt is an ugly four-letter word, and it's crippling many families. In fact, families that have credit card debt are drowning in about $16,000 of it. And that's just on the plastic. We're not talking about homes or cars. Sadly, that average is 10% higher than it was just 3 years ago. So that means families are deeper in debt than ever before. So how can you stop the cycle?
Here's 4 tips. Number 1, stop using the cards. The only way to really attack those balances is if they stop growing and you pay them down.
Switching over to using cash can be a tough change, but a worthwhile one. It's one our debt family tried last year, and they knocked out most of their credit card debt and bought a home, all in 1 year. It's not easy, but worth it.
Second, if you need to use credit, make sure you've got a good card with a good interest rate.
That might mean opening a new card with low interest and closing an old card with high interest. The ding on your credit score from closing a card is really minimal, and the lower interest rate will save you a ton.
Third, look for a card with 0% balance transfer offers and move your high interest balances there and then pay those off.
Doing that could get you out of debt in a year, as long as you pay way more than the minimum balance, and you pay it off before the APR goes up.
Finally, if you have a lot of debt, consider the snowball method. That's also how we helped out our 2016 debt family get out of the vicious debt cycle.
Focus on one card at a time, the one with the highest balance or highest interest rate, and put as much money as you can on one card till it's paid off, while just paying the minimum on the other cards.
Now, you may be wondering why you should start something like this, and the answer is pretty simple. In America right now, the families in the worst financial shape are also the ones in the most credit card debt, and you can break the cycle and get free from it when you make a change. And if you need a partner to help with you, well, contact the Financial Guidance Center today, because they are here for one-on-one help, and that's what I love about them. They helped our debt family so much last year, and they will stand beside you and get you out of debt in a year's time or more, depending on how much that you're in, and that's really key. So call them today. It's all free.
It can be overwhelming for so many people.
It can, but once you get a plan in place, it's not so overwhelming. You do it for the first month, and it's not so hard in February, not so hard in March, and so forth.
I didn't realize our debt family had bought a house that same year. So
yes,
if you need any kind of encouragement, I think that's it.
Yeah, their lives were completely changed, so yours can change too, but you've got to start today.
Yeah, good advice, Michelle. Thank you. All right, we made it through the threat of rain for New Year's Eve. Now we're just thinking about the future.
Yeah, now watching the winds. And, you know, I got to be honest, thankfully the winds are today and not, you know, a couple of days ago, because the winds like we've been seeing today would have canceled fireworks celebration. They're at that advisory criteria, and they will continue to remain at that level at least here for the next couple of hours. But we're also watching a couple other things. We're watching an increase in our cloud cover, where we've been watching some rocky cameras out there, and it looks like generally mild temperatures heading in towards the next couple of days. But most all of our cameras here have been rocking around quite a bit. I'm seeing peak gusts for most of the metro area, Henderson, a lot of spots in the 30s, but even higher for areas like Mount Charleston and the Kyle Canyon area, which hit gusts upwards of 50 miles an hour today. Here's how we look, though, into the rest of the evening hours. And we play this out. There's 8 o'clock, 20-mile-an-hour winds for Mount Charleston and Pahrump. We're also watching pretty close to that for Boulder City, 20 for the Kingman area. And then it looks like as we head in towards later tonight, there's 11, still 20-mile-an-hour winds out around Pahrump. We're also watching Boulder City, same situation. After about 11 o'clock, you're going to start to notice our windcast map looking a little better. That improvement shows the winds are dying down. We'll start to notice some calmer conditions here as we head in towards our Tuesday, but we're still under that wind advisory. And we've been watching it for the last day or so. Pretty much the same area. Most of Clark County here, not up towards the Moapa Valley, but most of the southern portions and a large majority of that I-15 corridor. That's why one of the impacts in the hazardous that's why one of the impacts that the National Weather Service said, watch for hazardous driving conditions, especially if you're going to be taking a trek out towards Barstow. 2 hands on the wheel, a lot of blowing dust, a lot of trash going in, maybe out through the roads. That's going to be something you want to watch for as well, at least in through later tonight. Now, while a lot of us did see that clearing from earlier this morning, we had a few clouds, then we cleared, saw a really nice day. Here's what's coming our way, though. We've got a lot of cloud cover here moving in on the coast. We'll call it partly cloudy here in through tonight. But we're watching this real westerly flow, and it's kind of hard to see on this satellite radar, so let's pop up water vapor imagery. A lot of moisture here since earlier today, but most of this really missed our area. But you can see that flow. I mean, it starts well off in towards the Pacific and continues through a good chunk of the central U.S. That westerly flow is going to keep us primarily dry for now, with a kind of a flux in our cloud cover here over the next couple of days. Also going to keep our temperatures fairly mild as we see that blanket here overnight tonight and the next couple of days. I'd love to see what you're doing, what's going on in your backyard weather-wise. Connect with me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, or on Instagram. I'd love to hear what's going on for you in terms of what's expected for the next couple of days. I think we're going to stay dry, but I'm watching Sunday and Monday. There's that opportunity that we could see a few chances of showers, and it looks like maybe by next week we might pop in one of those 60-degree days by next Monday, 61. But for now, 50s for the next few days.
Not too bad.
Not a bad-looking forecast, guys.
Katie, thank you.
Yep.
Well, Mariah Carey made some news on New Year's Eve, but not for the best reasons.
It was a nightmare scenario for the singer. There were some technical difficulties with her voice tracks during her headline appearance in Times Square, so she spent more time talking to the crowd than actually singing.
Jerika Duncan has more on the most talked about performance and non-performance of the year.
As her biggest hits blared for the crowd,
we're missing some of this vocal, but it is what it is.
Mariah Carey talked over pre-recorded music that seemed to be missing her lead vocals.
We can't hear, but I'll just get through the motions, okay?
Starting and stopping a few times mid-song.
Feels like a
before finally asking audience members,
I'm gonna say let the audience sing, okay?
to finish out the show themselves.
We didn't have a check for this song, so we'll just say it went to number one.
She clearly misses a cue once, and then again, and then just gives up.
Mariah Carey's manager tells CBS This Morning that members of the production company behind the broadcast told her that the singer's earpieces weren't working and continued with the show anyway. The manager also says she asked the company to cut the West Coast feed of the performance and hinted that they refused in order to get higher ratings, asking why would they want to air it anyway with sound glitches unless they just wanted the eyeballs at any cost. Dick Clark Production calls any suggestion they intentionally sabotage the show defamatory, outrageous, and frankly, absurd.
One embarrassing lip-syncing incident isn't going to make or break a career at this level. On the other hand, Mariah's career has been stronger.
Jerika Duncan, CBS News, New York.
Big disappointment for her, I'm sure. Like a nightmare for any performer, and for her fans, which she has many. It's just a very sad event.
Technical problems, too.
Yeah.
Well, it is one of the most popular surf shows on the Strip.
And now you can experience a one-of-a-kind virtual reality trip to Cobb. Right now at MGM Grand, we reveal the best part of the experience next.
Plus, holiday travel is in full swing. We're going to check on the roads to see what kind of backups and traffic headaches drivers are facing. That's tonight at 6. The Valley's News Leader will be right back.
Coming up, ISIS claims responsibility for the deadly New Year's Eve attack in Istanbul. We have the latest on the manhunt for the shooter. Plus, what does President-elect Trump know now about the Russians and cyber hacking? Coming up on the CBS Evening News with Scott Pelley.
Join your favorites in TV.
It's all because of you fans.
Movies and music.
Thank you guys, I love you.
Joel McHale hosts the People's Choice Awards live Wednesday, January 18th. Tonight, get revved up. The CBS Monday comedies are back with electrifying new episodes.
I knew you were going to do that.
They've got new moves. New temptations.
I'm going to give you one smoldering look. I'm not feeling the sexy.
New sights.
I am sensing a disturbance in my hair.
And new sounds. It's a night that can't be beat. And it's all new. CBS Tonight, 8/7 Central.
Hello?
This is Evil Bill with Big Bank. You didn't pay your debts and you owe us money.
Sorry, I'm struggling. I want to pay, but I can't.
You owe money. You pay now.
Are you fed up with collector calls? We can make them stop.
Come see us to discuss your options and start feeling better about your situation.
And the law, the difference is black and white.
Want the secret to losing fat fast and keeping it off? Then listen to this.
When I first started with Dr. Nash, I'd weighed 243 pounds and wasn't able to do the things that I love to do. Since then, I've lost 74 pounds and recently placed in my Taekwondo competitions.
In just 3 short months of losing weight, I've lost 52 pounds and 35 inches off my waist, which is where I wanted it most.
Welcome to Total Transformation, where before turns into after.
Typical burglary entry is done through the easiest form of entry that they can find. Then they'll use force. They'll either break out a window to gain entry or they'll kick in a door. Oftentimes, by the time law enforcement gets there, the perpetrator's already gone. I found this system with Security Screen Masters being probably the best security deterrent that I could find on the market.
Security with a view. Call today for a free estimate. Protect your home, protect your family. Security Screen Masters.
Thank you, that's perfect. Not only does Silver State have great reviews and fast service, but no matter when you call, you always get to talk to someone directly. No leaving a message and hoping someone will call you back. Silver State is always ready to set up your repair or service call for your air conditioning or heating unit.
Winter's here. Call now to take advantage of Silver State's $59 maintenance special.
Don't wait. Call your neighbor. Call Silver State.
Silver State Refrigeration and HVAC, 433-5008.
Closed captioning of 8 News Now is sponsored by Ed Bernstein and Associates. Enough said. Call Ed.
At 11 o'clock, you've got no time to waste. So at 8 News Now, we keep the focus where it belongs. what's happening now,
With breaking news.
stories you haven't heard already, and what's to come next.
We're tracking that flooding.
Watch 8 News Now, weeknights at 11. You're watching 8 News Now at 5.
Something pretty cool is happening right now at the MGM Grand. Caw, the battle within, is taking over the grand lobby at the resort. It's kind of a virtual reality experience, and it's free. The station is set up from 11 in the morning until 7 at night. It started today, runs through the 12th of January. As you can see, you put on the glasses there, the headset there. The experience is inspired by the gravity-defying martial arts, so check it out if you have time at MGM Grand. A couple in Arizona rang in the new year with the birth of their twin sons.
As Carla Navarrete reports, the boys were born in 2 different years, but only minutes apart.
The first baby of the new year at Banner Thunderbird is Everett Jackson Shea.
So we're thrilled that we get to tell this story to family.
And you guys get to tell it for us, too. We're fortunate that you guys are able to do that.
You see, Everett is not only the first baby of the new year, his twin brother Sawyer was the last one of 2016.
So 11:51, Sawyer joined us. Everett was a little bit more stubborn. And so Everett Jackson Shea wasn't born until 12:01.
The Glendale family says they got to the hospital Saturday, and as the clock kept ticking, they knew they had a special duo making a grand entrance into the world.
As it was happening, we were like, oh, this is like we kind of had a little foreshadowing that this could happen, and it did.
The twins were born at 37 weeks. Sawyer, the bigger guy, at 5 pounds, 5 ounces, and his twin brother, Everett, at 4 pounds, 8 ounces.
Really, we were fortunate to be able to carry as long as I did and NICU time.
The boys have 2 sisters, ages 13 and 4, that are waiting for them at home. The bond and the story this pair will forever share is like no other.
They're going to be amazing.
They already are.
Yeah, they've already left their mark on this world.
Congratulations to them.
And thanks for watching 8 News Now at 5, the Valley's news leader. And don't forget, you can always find us on Facebook and Twitter.
The CBS Evening News is next, and we hope to see you again at 6 o'clock.